Hi friends and neighbors, I'm Brett West with the UrbanCastle team at McInerney Associates Realtors in Washington, D.C. Today I'm not talking about real estate, but something I find far more important: building a supportive community. This week, in the wake of the election, I've been deeply touched by the outpouring, the outreach, neighbors coming up to me to see how my family is doing. We're a family that lives out loud and everybody knows we're gay. And it's lovely to feel that support. We've received calls and messages from friends this week who are extremely concerned about their LGBTQ children, whether they're little or young adults. They're terrified by this election result, and it truly hurts my heart. The extent of the anguish that our young LGBTQ Americans are going through. There were a lot of truly ugly things and promises said during this presidential election about people like us, and that really can't be denied. I've learned that fear is very real and often can't be reasoned with. I manage fear every day as a real estate agent. And the way that I find is most helpful is by equipping people with tools that they can use as they choose. So I'm sharing contact information for the Trevor Project with the Trevor Lifeline for those young LGBTQ people or parents thereof feeling intense anguish, darkness, or perhaps that there's not a future for you here in our country, or for any other reason. The Trevor Project was established to help prevent the extraordinary epidemic of suicide among our LGBTQ youth. Through the most difficult times in my life, when the world around seems so big and chaotic and troubling and has made me feel small and vulnerable and at sometimes even inconsequential, the thing that I have found that helps most is shutting all of that chaos out, letting go of the big world and focusing most on those around me, my supportive community. When I moved to Washington, D.C., directly out of college in the Midwest, I had no job prospects, one friend and one cousin living in the area. I quickly found work and began frequenting a coffee shop in DuPont Circle called The Pop Stop. This became ground zero, my mecca for building the first group of friends, many of whom are still some of my dearest friends today. Here's a few of the survival tips my first network provided to me. First and foremost, it's important that you feel safe, protected, and comfortable in your home and in your neighborhood. Create a phone tree. That's Gen X speak for essentially a present-day speed dial or text thread of your favorite family members and friends. Be candid and honest with one or two of your most trusted friends when it comes to dating, providing them with name, time, location, and be in touch with your trusted points of contact at date's end. Frequent businesses, healthcare providers, and even places of worship that support our community. Hold or organize small events and gatherings for choicest friends and family. Get involved in efforts that benefit the community that supports us. Never turn your back on those a little more seasoned in the LGBTQ community, nor our supportive straight allies. Look, those of us who have been around the block a time or two know a little bit, and we want to share, and we want to lift you up. the way the generations ahead of us did the same. And frankly, I was pretty shocked to find that non-gay people actually thought more of me than I did. And I have a friend who took me aside once and said, "Hey, you know what? You're not really all that bad. In fact, you're not bad at all." When you're able to make, join, and foster a community that supports you, the big bad world doesn't go away, but it sure helps to have a little nook in it somewhere of support and love and camaraderie and knowledge. Please don't interpret anything that I'm sharing here as anything more than, my being an ordinary person, sharing what I hope are helpful tips for anyone. If any of this has helped just one person, then my living out loud here has done its job. I'm just trying to live the American dream here, just like anybody else. And I believe you should too.